welcome our chair, Dr. Kevin J. Jones. He's director at the IU Columbus Center for Teaching and Learning, associate professor of management and division of business at Indiana University in Columbus. Thank you so much to our chair, Kevin J. Jones.
Well, we're toward the end of the conference, but trust me on this one. This is going to be an excellent panel, all right? So as we wait for our last person to arrive on stage, I'll introduce these people so you can get to know them a little bit, and then you'll be hearing from them. Now, I'm Dr. Kevin Jones. I'm Associate Professor of Management, Director of Center for Teaching and Learning at Indiana University in the United States. But now, here is your panel. Our first panelist here is Dr. Zahra AL-Rawahi, and her work focuses on developing talents in science, technology, and innovation, STI, particularly in artificial intelligence and, fourth, industrial revolution technologies. She aims to equip professionals with the knowledge, skills, and the attitudes necessary to lead strategic transformations within organizations and countries. Next, we have Ms. Duha Buhendi. With over 19 years of experience in the ICT sector, she holds an MBA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Her extensive background includes working closely with ICT entrepreneurs and currently focusing on digital societies and inclusion. Our third panelist, that is Moussa Beidas. He is a startup founder, product manager, and creative strategist whose work centers on user experience, storytelling, go-to-market strategies, patenting methodologies, product roadmap definition, ideation, and game-changing innovation across multiple sectors. And our last panelist, Ms. Valerie Hawley. She's a seasoned senior executive with robust background in technology, digital transformation, and investment, with proven expertise in strategic decision-making, innovation, and technology implementation. Our panelists, please give them a hand. It is such a great honor to be in front of you today, and we look forward to speaking with you, giving you, hopefully, some good insights here. So let me first start our panel with a question to Duha. The question: in the context of an AI-augmented future, what are the most critical skills and competencies organizations must prioritize to maintain a competitive edge?
Thank you for the question. Assalamu alaikum. I would like to start this question talking about the role of our ministry as part of our role at the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology is to build a future leading digital society where individuals have the right skills to thrive in a connected world. Organizations need to, let's say, have a culture of continuous learning, especially that with the changes of the emerging technologies and all the technologies coming around. Organizations should also continuously adapt the new digital tools to increase their productivity, which will help them to maintain competitive. They need also to focus on the workforce. Their workers needs to be trained in how to use AI and look at the AI as a partner, not as a replacement. Meaning that they need to understand how to integrate AI in their workflow and think about it and how to use it ethically, at the same time effectively. For example, we can talk about the creative industries. They need to use AI as a tool to help them to generate some ideas, and also they can have it as part of the automation of their process. But at the same time, a human, let's say, creativity is essential. Organizations need needs individuals who can really understand how to use AI and how to use AI insights and translate it to tangible strategies. We know that with the rise of the emerging technologies that there is a big focus on let's say high skills roles. The demand is increasing in high skills roles and it isn't shrinking for the low skills role. High skills roles like engineers and technicians, we know that companies, they need to find talent who have really knowledge in cybersecurity, AI and automation, Internet of Things, and those skills will help those organizations to make data-driven decisions at the same time overcome the challenges that they are facing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Zahra, do you have any thoughts about that or some other thoughts about that question?
Yeah, actually, currently we are, most of the organization, because of the disruption of AI, we are moving to a major disruption in the workforce. So there is the job will be, there will be a lot of iteration in the way how we perform job, how we work. There will be a major changes on this area. So we need to define what are the jobs that will be really altered with AI and what are the skills that needed for individual to be reskilled with a better knowledge and skill that related to AI. So we need to understand that most of the organizations they need all the employee within organization, they need to have a general understanding about AI, what it is AI, the benefit of AI, how to use various tools, the essential tools, how these tools could benefit their work, what are the limitations, what are the ethical impacts of these tools. So the general knowledge is needed for all the workforce of organizations. So there's a massive training needed for all organizations to empower their staff with the general knowledge about AI. The second thing is what needed is we need to understand that when the job are, when AI is work collaboratively with the normal employee, we need to understand how we can work collaboratively with the machine. So, they need to be retrained on working as a partner with the tool. In addition, currently the tedious type of work, a routine type of work could be done, left to the machine to do it, to the AI, to the automation. But the employee need to do the problem solving, critical thinking, creative type of work. These need to be a focus of a human. And the automation, but the employee need to understand the basic of AI, the natural language processes and how it could be performed, as well the robotic process automation and how it can be done. So they'll be ready and they have the general understanding of this technology, the limitation of this technology, and how they can work collaboratively with the new type of co-workers who is an AI co-worker.
Thank you. Well, let's go to a question from Moussa. I'm going to give you a question about, as AI increasingly supports tasks traditionally performed by humans, what strategies can organizations implement to ensure that a human workforce maintains a sense of purpose and engagement within their roles?
Sure, Kevin, and thanks for having me. It would be great maybe if we could get just a little bit of volume here, just so we can hear our fellow speakers a bit better. That would be great. So I think a lot of the points that have been discussed now are really valid when it comes to workforce augmentation, right? And I think one of the main points that could be overlooked is the psychological effects of the proliferation of Gen AI in the workforce. We're seeing a lot of focus on how to embed technology within how people are working, but we don't see an attention on what that impact has on a person's safety net, which is, something around what they do, their job, right? So you're giving me a tool that could ultimately do a lot of what I already do. What does that mean for me? And that can always have a negative effect on someone's output, someone's sense of belonging in a role, even where they reside within the overall team. And I think it's really important for us to think about how we position the integration of Gen AI within specific roles and clearly delineate responsibilities between what the Gen AI model or the Gen AI tool is meant to do and what your responsibilities are as humans, right? As that workforce that has always been there and will continue to always be there. Gen AI isn't here to replace, it's really to empower and further augment what you're already doing. So with the advent of the likes of agentic AI, for example, where we're looking at AI in a way where a single person could create their own virtual team, give them responsibilities, give them tasks, it should simplify your work life, right? It shouldn't neglect it, and it shouldn't hinder it in any way.
Thank you. Valerie, do you have any thoughts about that question or comments by Moussa?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you on the other side, so would you mind repeating?
Okay. Do you have any comments or thoughts about what Moussa said, or any thoughts about the question?
Yeah, I mean, I come from academia, so perhaps I can talk a bit more on the individual skills that we need in this era of AI, because education is asking itself, what do we need to teach our students for the future? So I think the most important, the most critical skills that can be taught at the moment, before we figure out what we need to do, it's probably adaptability. Because people will have to adapt in their context, in their professional life. I mean, AI is going to simplify the task, but then the human or the employee will have to do other things. They will have to prompt the system. They need to learn different system, move from one system to the other. So I think adaptability is a big one. The next one probably is about curiosity. Always keeps this curiosity, because things are moving very quickly. We need to be aware of what's going on. We need to be educated on what AI can do and what they can and what it can't do. And therefore, we absolutely need that curiosity. As we have heard all along this summit, also critical thinking, because AI doesn't always have the truth. The AI system can hallucinate, so you need to have a critical eye on the outcome of the AI system. So I think that's the key skill that we can develop within the universities and educating our children, but also very much in the organization as well. I think organizations have a duty to make everybody in the organization aware, educate, continuous learning in terms of AI, so that people are aware of what's going on, how it's going to affect their job, what are the explainability of the system, where the data is coming from, etc., etc. So we need to keep people engaged. We need to keep them very much involved in that transformation that is going to be completely ubiquitous and touch any jobs.
Thank you. Let's go to another question for Dr. Zahra. This question is, what strategies should organizations implement to effectively balance the efficiency gains from AI-generated outputs with the need to foster a culture that values and nurtures human ingenuity and original thought?
Yeah, this is a very important thing here, that we have to perceive our culture, our ingenuity within this system. So we have to put the human at the center of these systems. In the development stages, in the testing stages, and then we have to retest this system, how they treat human. So the system itself, they have to build within the human and the culture of these people. I mean, the people who are using this. If the culture from the West, so it will adapt that culture. If the culture from the East, Islamic culture, it should adapt the Islamic culture. So it depends on that tool, and that tool, it has to be adaptable as per the culture, the users. If the users from this culture, so the system itself has had to adapt to the culture of that place, actually. So we have to make sure within the system itself, the system is very transparent, how the data is documented, from where it is, I mean, utilizing the data from which sources. So we can go back to the raw data and try to figure out if there is any misuse of the, of the cultural issue, so we can alter it and fix it. We need always to have a mechanism of auditing of these systems. So we can go and audit the system and see how they match the, and align according to the pre-planned requirements of this.
Thank you. Duha, do you have any thoughts about what the Dr. Zahra said, or additional thoughts about strategies?
Yes, yeah, I agree with my colleague Zahra, which you have mentioned, and I would like to emphasize that organizations maybe needs to rely on, let's say, maybe delegate some routine works to AI, and also and keep and free the employees to focus more on critical thinking, strategic thinking, problem solving, and other things. They can also have other strategies related to the performance, let's say performance metrics. Maybe they should recognize and award those, let's say, projects which have a human added value to the AI-supported projects. I would like also to emphasize more on what my colleague Valerie have already mentioned about the talent. So as part of the studies that we have done at the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, that we were looking at how is the future, let's say, needs, and it's going to be for Qatar for the coming, let's say, by 2030, and we find out that we will be facing a shortage of a high-skilled talents by 2030 if there are no actions taking based on that. Therefore, we are having some initiatives focusing on the current talent, where we look at skilling and reskilling of the current employees and make sure that they are adopting the technologies. And we have other initiatives focused on the let's say the future talents, and where we attract digital talents from around the world. At the same time, prepare the future talent, which once we look at the students by different initiatives, by offering them more than one initiative. One of them is focusing on which is Studio 5, where we provide them with a knowledge and make sure that they are really can, let's say, test the technology and learn how to use it and how to build it in the future. We're looking at also making sure that they are using the technology safely by Safe Space platform. So talent is something really important for organizations, and also for the whole country. It is the same case not only in Qatar and around the world, because the technology and emerging technology is changing every day, and let's say everyone would like to attract talents.
Thank you. Let me now turn to a question for Valerie. All right. Valerie, what are the ethical implications of using AI to enhance human work, particularly in terms of surveillance, autonomy, job displacement? And how can organizations navigate these challenges to ensure ethical practices while leveraging AI technologies?
Well, I think ethics needs to be at the core of every design of AI system. I think that's very very important. I was at the Duha forum at the weekend, and that was a big topic. all around the world now there are framework of for ethics and regulation of AI that are being proposed. I mean, you know that the EU has already published and enforced the AI Act. Some of the some of other countries think that it's reducing and constraining innovation, but at least I think it has already the basis for discussion, and I think it's very important that all the AI principle of ethical AI, which are transparency, inclusiveness, fairness, explainability, data security, and data privacy, are at the core of the design of an AI organization. So that means that when you build your AI culture in the organization, everybody needs to be aware of this, and anybody needs to develop and design AI system with this principle in mind, and that the question and the discussion about ethics is a lively one, basically.
Very, very true. Moussa, do you have any thoughts about that question or some of the comments that Valerie made?
Yeah, so I think I very much echo what Valerie has described in terms of how it needs to be at the center of how we build things. I also think that awareness of how certain decisions are taken during the creation of these models and the products that come on top of them is also crucial. We tend to find that whenever we come across bias or unethical, for example, responses, and I'm talking about large language models and Gen AI in this case, we find that a lot of it is attributed to corrupted content or corrupted data. And naturally, if corrupted data, when I say corrupted data, it means it's usually biased data. So if you're looking at the vast majority of content on the internet today, it's not Arabic, right? So that's just one example of how the understanding of a large language model can be biased and in many cases unethical when it comes to trying to convert it to a different culture. Other ways where we need to think really long and hard, and I think this is more of a global sort of conversation, is around where do you apply generative AI? Does it go into surveillance? Does it go into things that have to do with finance? Does it get used in defense? How far do we push the proliferation and usage of this? And I think that's something that we need to bear in mind in terms of our relationship with the technology, and not just wait and see attitude, but more preemptive attitude.
You have an additional thought, Valerie?
Yeah, because I think, I mean, the EU AI Act is actually as a risk approach. So they are basically looking at every AI system and assessing the risk, and depending on the risk that it presents in terms of surveillance and other risks that are very very real, then the regulation applied to the AI system is different. And I think we can, I mean, this regulation can be controversial, but at least it gives already a framework on how to look at AI system, how to anticipate, how to assess risk linked to that, and I think that's the start of the discussion.
All right, let's go to, believe it or not, our last question. And we're going to hear from all the panelists on this question. The question is, what advice would you offer to organizations integrating AI into their workforce to ensure maximum benefits, maintain ethical practices, and cultivate an environment that encourages innovation and creativity? It's some of a summary question of what we talked about. So let's start with Dr. Zahra.
Yeah, mainly at the beginning we need to understand why we are using an AI, what the goal of using AI within the organization. We shouldn't use the AI just to seek of a new technology is there and put ourselves in a risk in one way or another. So we need to understand the objective of using AI. Is it to be more productive, to reach to the customer satisfaction, to cut cost? So we define the reasons exactly, the goal of using AI. After defining the goal of using AI, we need to ensure that AI, it apply the, as mentioned, the framework. Is it adhere to all the framework of like a code of conduct, transparency, fairness, accountable, responsible, all those ethics, secure. So different organizations, they define, the United Nations define, and also OECD, they define the framework for a good or a guideline for the good implementation of AI or deployment of AI solutions. So we need to, how we're going to ensure the system that we are using really complies with those regulations. We need the team, the development team, they need to understand all the implication of the guidelines. We need to test the team, their understanding of those guidelines and how they can produce a system that really complies with the requirements. The system itself needs to be audited periodically after use, when it is done in the testing stages, and after deploying the system as well, it needs to be revisited and checked about all the how it is complying with the regulations of the framework.
Thank you. Duha.
Yeah, I think that companies that they need to promote a human AI collaboration by position AI as an enabler, not a replacement, as I said before, invest in training and equip employees with the skills needed to use AI and to innovate in that era. They need also to continuously look at, raise awareness of the proper use and the ethical use of the AI. At the same time, they need to foster a culture of innovation, so they allow their employees to have the freedom to explore the innovative, let's say, platform from AI and other emerging technologies in order to increase their productivity. They need also to blend the human creativity with the AI power to encourage them to use AI as a partner. AI is a power tool that can suggest strong solutions and offer perspective, yet the human remains at the heart of the decision making.
Thank you. Moussa.
I think the main story here is you need to start. It's not just about, and I agree, we shouldn't just place it anywhere, but you need to start somewhere. You need to start in a way where you're agile, where you can quickly adapt and understand the power of the tool and the specific task you're using it for. But I think what we are quickly realizing as well is that it's not a nice to have. This is going to be a necessity and a serious part of how the world will function moving forward. You know, people discuss or describe an iPhone moment back in 2006, 2007. I think we are technologically going through a new iPhone moment with Gen AI, and I think changing how you approach integrating a technology like this is extremely important. How it gets brought into your organization, identifying the right people responsible for it, and identifying the right use cases to start iterating and doing it in a much more agile way. And I think that should be the frame of how we move forward.
Valerie.
I think I will take the people angle, and I think to build an AI-friendly culture is very important to build an AI organization that is AI by design. It's important that people are engaged, that they understand, and that no one is left behind, because we know that some of the jobs are going to disappear. So people are threatened, and then there is resistance to AI. So to build an AI-friendly culture, it's key to the success of the use cases, to the success of the systems that we are integrating. And to do that, we need to raise awareness, we need to educate. So I think Duha mentioned continuous learning. That's very important. The ethical discussion as well need to take place at any level, because otherwise there is always, there is a risk of a great divide between the North and the South, but it can be also social divide in terms of AI. And the technology is evolving so fast that everybody needs to be on board with it. So I think it's very, very important to keep the education effort into insight. And that can be done at different levels. I mean, some people need very specialized trainings to become developers, AI engineer, and so on. But other people don't need that specialized training, but they need to understand how AI works, how the decisions are made, and all that.
Well, let's thank our panelists for a very fine presentation. The question is, questions or no? No questions. Sorry we've extended our time, but thank you again for listening, and we'll exit the stage now. But if you want to ask questions of us, we're around. Please ask. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.